Hey
Hello,
guys,
hello everyone. Welcome to Malachite.
welcome to Malachite. Welcome to a new moon forecast for the new moon in Taurus.
Yes,
And I'm Philippa. This is Leopold. We're happy to be back here again. If you like what we're sharing, subscribe to us, share with a pal, a colleague, your neighbor,
yes,
anyone.
anyone.
Leave us some messages, and you also can find us on Instagram on our individual profiles. And sometimes we do lives there as well. So, ciao, bienvenido.
Bienvenue, bienvenue pour les francophones.
Bienvenue.
Bienvenue.
Yeah, ouais. Okay, so Leopold, we were just having a quick chat about at the moment I think we've got a Sun Mars squares, we've got lots of squares, lots of oppositions. I wanted to maybe hear from you, which you can share with the viewers about the new moon energy. And I believe according to my chart, at least because I'm in Nairobi, it will be Sunday around 10 p.m.
Mhm.
So let's say 27th of April. So I want to hear your thoughts and then I'll kind of
Yeah, I
respond.
mean, we'll talk about this new moon indeed, 10 p.m. On the 27th Sunday, so 27th of April, at 7 degrees Taurus. And yeah, I mean, it's an interesting new moon because we are starting something here right after Easter, right after an energy that came to no matter from what religion or beliefs you are. Easter is always that kind of period where we try to reignite something. Something that had issues, something that was not working, or something that previously was dysfunctional. Easter brings that energy. So I don't know. I don't know if it's really just belonging to Christians only. I think that Christic energy is a universal energy. It's not about your beliefs. It's about a cosmic energy. So I believe that Easter is always something very particular. And here we have a rebirth. And at the same time, we starting with the first new moon here, which is a super moon also super close to us. And it's a new moon that will push towards the Vesak celebration, which is also a Taurus celebration about the Christ and Buddha, also in May. So I'm not trying to be religious here. I'm just trying to understand the scenery. We are in a momentum where a lot of energies from great prophets or great people that tried to have a message of hope uh, been giving us some light through Buddha in his enlightenment, in Taurus through his birth, through his death, and Jesus Christ or the Christ energy through Easter. So, that being said, we are entering a period of squares, indeed, and oppositions, like you said. The new moon is at 7 degrees Taurus, and it's drawing a huge grand cross in fixed signs. In fixed signs, for those who know a little bit of astrology, the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay, so these signs are fixed. Compared to other signs, there are mutables, they have movement, or they are cardinals, and they have movement also, they have will. The fixed sign have like a quality of being stuck, being fixed, and it doesn't allow the movement. It doesn't allow the energy to flow yet. It's just something that is there, glued to the skin, and that needs to be brought up to the consciousness. So for me, these times are not the funniest times because they are drawing tensions that we need to understand, tensions that are brought up always for our good. Astrology, cosmology, many, many philosophies and religions have studied this for tens of thousands of years. And it always comes back to it's for our own good because we need to get with it. We need to get that consciousness. We can't allow ourselves to stay a bit silly and stupid. We have to face it. So in that sense, it's this time that we're gonna have to face a couple of things. And again, not everybody's gonna feel it. It's just that on a global scale, on a humanitarian level, definitely a lot of tensions may arise again because we have that opposition of Mars and Pluto, and on the sides we have the new moon opposite Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. So Black Moon Lilith Scorpio is talking about our shadows and this new light, moon and sun in Taurus. It's actually the light of, I always almost want to say, the prophet. It's the light of the third eye. Try to open your third eye through all this. Don't stay stuck in the form. Realize what's beyond. So there is that kind of level. So I see shadow and light opposition, and on the other side of the square, I see, of course, Mars and Leo. Do something, be yourself, individualize, and down there, Pluto, who wants to change things. So in all that change, because we need to feel that change, what are you going to do? So there's a beautiful energy here that is very intense, but doesn't necessarily need to be negative. Okay, it's just okay, what can I do? How can I be conscious? How can I be responsible? And how can I decide to be a night of light, a night of compassion? I'm using the words here of sun, moon in Taurus, a person that is close to earth, a person that has values, a person that can be spiritual, Saturn, Venus, through all what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not into predictable astrology per se, predictive astrology, but at the same time, we are going to feel a hit in the financial world. That's for sure. In some kind of way or the other, even if we don't feel it personally, something is going to trigger an imbalancement in the financial world, and I think that's a good thing to know. That's a good thing to know. Like I say always to the people following me on Instagram, just put your money, if you can, into gold, into bricks, or into art. These are the three main things: gold, bricks, and art, where you can place yourself some dosh, and if anything happens, at least you have a little bit of something on the side, because the banks will feel a bit of a hard time right now. And we see it already with the tariffs, and we see already with all this fight against the tariffs from America, and the president, and China is reacting, and Europe is reacting, and it's gonna make a lot of changes. It's gonna make a lot of changes. So for me, it's really about the Taurus values. Like make sure you're close to earth. Make sure you eat well. Make sure you know how to feed yourself, and at the same time, make sure you have real values: solidarity, compassion, the values that Buddha brought. The third eye. Open your third eye. I was saying a nice saying that was saying, start to look. What was it? See more with your eye and not with your eyes. You know, so use that third eye, and pay attention, and don't stress too much about the material stuff that are gonna maybe feel some obstacles or financial issues and stuff like that. But that's my first take anyway. I let you talk, of course, but that's my first take, my first approach on this start of this next 28 days of the new moon. Important and decent lessons from the luminaries.
Yeah, fantastic. I've written so many notes and they're all over the all over the page. I like the tips that you've given, and that's also like leaning into the Taurus energies because the sun is there, because the moon is there. And I guess as somebody with a south node in Scorpio and a north node in Taurus, what I've learned is um be less dramatic, step away from the drama, Scorpio, and Taurus, make something to eat, have a bath, go to sleep, you know. So I guess what it is is which I think is just so powerful and so beautiful. It's like, can I do something about it today? Maybe I can't. So let me just make sure I eat something, have some potatoes, have some beetroot, have some rooted vegetables, and
Yes.
just be here in the moment, look after my body, take care of it. It's the vessel in which our spiritual self is moving, in which our brain is moving, right? So, oops. So I guess what I want to say, or what I want to add to is with the upcoming events to the new moon as well as after the new moon. And then I was looking, and the full moon is going to be almost conjunct Uranus, right? So the full moon is also going to be bombastic, right? So even though I do feel May will in some ways be easier for us, and we were discussing that when we were off camera, because the planets are direct, all of these many things, it is still going to be quite eventful, and there's going to be lots of changes, right? And especially when we have lots of changes, it's like in some ways, it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm stepping back. I don't want to deal with this. And sometimes you can, right? You need to retreat. You need to go to your altar, to your candle, to your meditation cushion and chill and retreat. But sometimes you have to actually be like, okay, I had all these plans for the day, but I just need to take action and not respond, but just join that energy and see what I can do. So I guess also what I'm mentioning is it's this balance between making sure you're looking after yourself on a daily basis, several times the day, as well as sometimes realizing things may not go as I want them to go. And I'm going to be open to that. And sometimes I'm going to have to respond immediately, but also to remember as well with that Mars Pluto is sometimes we can feel like, oh my God, everything is coming down on me. I have to respond now, but you don't always have to respond, right? Especially when I'm teaching yoga, there's a few like yin poses I do, and I always tell people you always have your freedom. Even when you don't, you have a choice as to when you respond. Most of the time, you choose when you respond, right? How you respond, if you say yes or no. So also being able to use that Pisces energy that we currently have now to be able to say, okay, I'm going to retreat into the spiritual self and connect to my higher self via, my chakra system. You mentioned the third eye, connecting to myself and just checking in. And when I can't, because my head is too busy and it's too hectic, I'm going to be in my body, right? And I'm going to look after myself, give myself a hug, give myself lots of compassion. Maybe I'm also going to move my body. Like, I think the Mars and Pluto has been really fascinating because strangely, despite the week that has been, I found it a lot easier to focus. And I'm like, okay, I got these things to do. Let me use that the Mars Pluto opposition, and just like power through, power through, power through. Doesn't mean I don't take breaks, but I think with the Mars Pluto as in a way it is a nihilistic, it is very violent. There may be things that we see on the world stage that could be terrible, that could be horrible, that could have no sense, right? Maybe even worse than the things we've been seeing, unfortunately. But what I guess what we're
Yes.
saying, or what I'm saying is, okay, it's a lot, but make sure you're eating, you're sleeping, you're connecting to your body, you're moving the energies through your body, out of your body, right? And also using it, because that energy has to do something with it. Use it for something, an intense workout, powering through what you need to do, doing some cement, mixing cement and mortar, or whatever it is in your house, creating a wall, whatever it is, like just find something, move it through, right? intense sex, actually, Mars Pluto, but safe sex in different ways, of course, right? But there's a lot of, you can work with that intensity in a way that is beneficial as long as it's safe and not harmful to you. So but I think the Lilith is also very interesting, and for many people it's really worthwhile to check out Lilith. And she's an asteroid and a mythic figure, but also Lilith in general represents, like you mentioned, the shadow side, and it's in Scorpio. So it's like, you want to talk about shadow of the 12 signs, we're going to give you the most shadow of the shadow of the, even that, it's the shadow. Imagine,
It
Leopold and
is. It
viewers,
is. It,
you know.
it is.
So, and it's fascinating because I think we need to look at our shadow with curiosity and with compassion, because we all have it. We will always have a shadow. And it's like, okay, I'm curious about what is here. And I'm curious again to bring it to the light and to be okay with it. And even to see it and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I have compassion for you. This is what it is, etc. And actually, sometimes when I do like somatic work, I sometimes try and imagine those shadow parts, even of myself, and I try and give it a physical features. And I'm like, hey, that the eye is here, the eye can't see, there's no nose, like, and being like, hey, how many arms, and being like,
Mm,
wow, I see you, and I see you. I don't even want you to
yeah.
change. I see you, I hear you, I know that this has come from a certain place, right?
Yeah.
So, so being curious about the journey of the shadow, we're not going to solve it, but being curious, what is there? Where is it from? And realizing that the weird thing about the human experience is that our early life also often, not always, but sets up the shit for the later life, right? That makes you several years of childhood
Of
end
course.
up, you end up going for therapy for 40 years, right? And your parents or your caregivers who raise you are always going to F up in one way or the other, because some people are lucky and they don't have that. But what I mean to say is, we're meant to be working through the experiences. When we're meant to be, life is about imperfection, right? And it's almost like a promise of being a human, is that we all have something or various things. And in a way, knowing that, we can point the finger at people, but as we continue to do the healing, you realize actually that person is who they are. Maybe they didn't know any better. So what can I do? How can I empower myself, which is the Pluto aspects, the Scorpio aspects? How can I say, okay, I've got all this ish, but how can I just understand that I'm on the path of this process of empowering myself, right? And it doesn't mean that you're going to solve it today, in a year, or 5 years, or when you're 103, right? But Lilith in Scorpio is also very, very powerful. And because she is a goddess that was rejected and cast out. And when we of course understand feminine mythological figures that are often that this has happened to them since time immemorial, it's that the divine feminine and the divine, and not just the divine feminine of the light, but also of the anger, also of the might, also of the ability to protect and fight for justice and protect her young, but also sometimes just do it, even again, regardless of whether it's right or just or whatever, right? But often, so it's again trying to understand who is this feminine in all of us, no matter our gender, or if we're non-binary. What is this energy in me? What is this power that I've been suppressing, that I've been told or believe is ugly and I need to hide? And again, Scorpio of course has to do with sexual energy. And of course, we know about the power of sexual energy, the power of the Kundalini. So it's like taking the best of that power, that creative power as well, the power to regenerate and transform, and taking the best of it and not moving towards maybe sex addiction or using sex as manipulation or repressing your sexuality. But how can I take the best of that and see myself as a full bodied person, not just light, not just dark? You're mentioning actually the two contrasts, but this is who I am. I'm a person who may have one eye going out here or whatever, but I have this might, this beauty, all of these many things. So I do think with that Scorpio energy, there is something about sex that may be playing out, sexual nature, maybe the idea of also what have I hidden about my sexual nature, what needs to come to light, what can I own, what do I need to work through. We've also it's also moved out of Libra, so it's like, how do I not care anymore about being nice to people and trying to play nice, pretty Libra with the pigtails, but actually be that Scorpio goth type personality, right? And Scorpio, of course, has to do with other people's money, and Taurus is my money, my values, my body. Scorpio is the mix of all of that. So I think that will be also, like you mentioned, the world markets, and then we have the full moon, of course, in in May, where we're also going to probably see the volatility of the money. But I guess in all of this, I guess what we're saying is there are layers. There's layers of our physical reality where we need to stay grounded and look after our physical bodies, but also about how can we be tuning in, as always, to the other stuff and be not too attached to what's happening on the world stage, not too attached to yes, it's easy to feel like something is happening in your life and the world is coming to an end, Scorpio, but like, what else is going right? Like, if I step outside, am I going to hear the birds? You know, can I make myself a cup of tea? Isn't this just so great, right? Isn't it great that I have two arms and four legs and two legs, sorry, sorry, two arms, two legs, right? Yeah, you know? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the shadow part. But you know what
This,
I mean? Like, yeah, sorry, he was speaking right now. But
oh,
yeah,
that's very good.
so and I guess okay, I'll there's something else I want to add, but before I hand it to you, I won't mention that yet, but I want to hand it to you. But I think, like we were talking about Saturn right now when we were off camera, and it's like you had mentioned, this is a great thing about astrology because it's like it's a weather forecast. It gives us a heads up. And we have to trust that even if some things feel challenging, in some ways there is something we're getting out of it that is positive, that brings experience, that brings wisdom, that we're able to have a deeper sense of character, that eventually maybe we're able to share and help others, assist others, guide others, work together. So sometimes things are not clear, but we have to trust in the process and keep staying grounded to, you say third eye, I say, higher self, all of that. So I want to hear, and the other thing is I did want to ask you why you believe Easter, I guess you're saying, is sacred. I want to ask you that. But what I do want to also mention is that yes, it's like that Pisces energy, the Christ-like self. I just wanted to agree with you. And I guess also say that, with the eclipses, it's very common for leaders, people who are kings, queens, leaders, male and female, of course, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, for people to often pass away or leave your life, etc. And it was actually very like kind of like a poetic justice with the fact that it was over Easter, during such a quiet, a sacred time, during a time when we have the stellium and Pisces. Um, so anyway, I wanted to hear a few thoughts, and then maybe I'll add to it, and then I guess we're kind of trying to keep it short and wrap it up soon. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, for me, it's important to realize also the luminous part of it. I think the luminaries are here in Taurus, giving us that energy. And yes, when we enter that Taurus energy, there is a sense of resurrection, and it's not just about the Christ. It's about you. You are that stardust. You are that hero on a journey, and it's about your resurrection as well. This is a story, and whether it's a symbol, whether it's a legend, it's not important. What's important is all the archetypes that are woven into it. And these archetypes are so alive, they are so strong, and it's not a coincidence also that the Pope has gone just at that time also, with a very strong Piscean end of an era, end of an age, of the Piscean age. And you see the Pope has passed away right at Easter season, and you can realize how the Christ has actually sacrificed his life for the whole humanity, not just for the Christians, not just for the Jews or anything, for humanity, So we have that Piscean energy that is very beautiful. And if you look at the chart, you see the Grand Cross, but you see the love that Saturn and Venus are giving to Mars, saying you can go through it. You have the potential, you have the resources with organized love and with organized values of love and unconditional love through your third eye. You can see the light at the end of that tunnel if you are in a tunnel. Some people are not, which is great as well. I'm talking about the people who are in a challenge right now and are still fighting a little bit all these personal plans that were retrograde a few weeks back, and just getting back into emotion or just coming out of the mud, as a soldier and being like, okay, now I can function again, So that's why I was talking about this Christic energy, because for me it's still very potent, and the luminaries are bringing this. And just the last touch, to say
Mm.
that the sun and the solar system has a very similar energy that is love and wisdom. And love and wisdom is the energy of any prophet. If you look at any type of energy of the prophets in religions, or someone that came to do a lot of good, some people like Gandhi and all these big figures that tried to help humanity, they always have a certain Taurian kind of love into them. Yeah, it's very strong.
And you're a Taurus rising,
No,
huh?
no, no,
So
no, 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 no. I see you coming. I see you coming.
shout out to Leopold. Ah, hey, hey, hey.
No, 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 no.
So
I'm just a little
yeah,
ant, a little
yeah,
worker, with a little shovel, on the
yeah.
sideline.
But I guess and also a lot of them teach acceptance of your brothers and sisters. And I was reading something about also this idea that it was like a numerology for the week, and it was talking about accepting that others have shadows, others are not perfect, as are we. And I think that also goes back
Yeah,
to the message of like, accept people, accept the situations as they are, do what you can do, take care of your meals. Buddha also was a teacher of detachment, right? So it's this higher connection to the higher consciousness, but also a detachment from
material.
material wants, material needs,
Yes, and emotions. And
and
emotions also.
emotions.
Don't get overwhelmed by that
Yeah,
Pisces, Saturn and Pisces. Yeah.
yeah. And also, I guess in closing, because I know we have to go, I just wanted to say that with this fixed cross, the grand cross, it's like the question of where am I stuck? And what is the wound, what is the shadow side that could be keeping me stuck, that is not wanting to change? And this is going to create change, right? It's fixed, but the pressures, the planets are so strong, it's going to create the change. But it's like really, again, the curiosity of like, yeah, what's going on with me that I feel like I have to be very protective, which is very actually fixed sign, Taurus and Scorpio as well. I have to be so protective of this thing, whatever's happening. We need to, it's investigating there, using the Scorpio to investigate, go deeper, the Pluto, and allowing whatever comes to come, staying away from conflict, of course, during this
If
time,
possible. Yes.
if possible. And I also want to say that we've still got this the sextile of Saturn and Uranus that is still playing out. So it's like, how can I find new ways of creating new structures, or like, how can I just be a
Yes.
tiny
How
bit?
can
Go ahead.
restructure myself, restructure, kind of think of, okay, how can I redefine what
Yeah,
structure means? Because I constantly
yeah,
change, I constantly
yeah,
evolve. So I
yeah,
need to constantly adjust,
yeah,
and find new ways. And don't be scared about new
yeah,
ways. They sound
yeah,
crazy. They might sound crazy, but they are not.
yeah,
If you feel them from inside, go for it.
yeah. Yeah. And with that energy, with the Saturn, you can build something over a long time. It
Yes,
gives
and
you the
it
power
will
to,
be
yeah,
much more effective once it moves into Aries as well. So right now it
yeah,
could be still very foggy, and
yeah,
but you feel the calling inside, go for it because it will
yeah.
clarify itself in a few months.
Okay, so over and out, guys. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, share, give your comments,
Yes.
and really happy to have you watching. And hasta luego.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for watching, and then please leave some comments and spread the word of this Malachite channel. We really love to hear from you very soon. Thank you so much, and we'll be back. Thank you. Bye
Ciao,
bye.
guys.
Happy new moon.
Happy new moon.